Hello again, everybody. Welcome to USA Wrestling Weekly. I'm Scott Casper. What do you say? Let's take a look at what's trending from USA Wrestling, the national governing body of our sport. Well, as you know, May was World Wrestling Month, and it concluded with dozens of special events and competitions held around the globe to celebrate the sport and promote its viability to the Olympic Committee. The final major event of World Wrestling Month was a Battle at the Falls, a women's freestyle dual meet held in beautiful Niagara Falls, Canada. Members of both Team USA and Canada attended the pre-event press conference that was held on the Canadian side of the falls.
We're all very excited to be able to represent America and wrestle against these great teams, Canada and Ukraine. I think that this is a great event to showcase wrestling, and it's great that we're ending this wrestling month on a note like this.
Special guest at the event was women's wrestling pioneer and a three-time world medalist for Team USA, Afsoon Rasha-Zamir Johnson.
My whole life, we just kept promoting women's wrestling, and I'm so proud that it's reached this level. And so we just are going to continue to fight to keep it going and to continue the Olympics.
Well, in a sign of unity for Olympic wrestling, athletes, coaches, and team leaders from all three nations gathered for photos and videos in front of Niagara Falls. This photo was seen worldwide and was selected as Photo of the Week by ESPNW. Let's take a look at the competition right now. It was intense. The United States and European power Ukraine were the first to battle, and it wouldn't be decided until the very final bout. The women of the Ukrainian team won the first two and set the pace, and then came the U.S. rally. 121-pound star Catherine Fulp-Allen scored a huge takedown and exposure with 12 seconds to go in her bout with Irina Huicak. The final score, a tight 8-6 decision.
I knew I couldn't just jump at it right away, and I kind of had to wait till that right moment, and I knew it was about 25 seconds left, somewhere around there, but to me I knew that was plenty of time just to set up kind of what I needed.
At 138 pounds, current world champion Elena Paraskova followed with an impressive 10-0 tech fall over past world champion Gana Velisenko. Paraskova was named the Mat.com Wrestler of the Week for this huge win.
I beat the streets. I didn't have really quite a good match, I think, very slow. So it was really great to get out there and have a lot of action going on. And, it's great to look at the scoreboard and see that you're up 10-0 and you just text someone.
Next, we look at the result at 130 pounds. Two-time junior world medalist Allie Reagan hit two headlocks on the way to a 12-4 victory over past world medalist Natalia Sinishin. The U.S. led Team Ukraine 13-12 going into the last bout. The 158-pound women had yet to tie it up. With a minute left on the clock, young U.S. star Brittany Roberts scored a takedown to knock off past world champ Katerina Bernestrova. Roberts' big 5-4 victory gave the U.S. a 16-13 overall dual meet win.
I knew that I had to win for us to win, so I was just trying to do some smart wrestling out there and not do anything crazy so I didn't cause the team any points or anything, but I just wanted to win, and I tried to use the best strategy that I could.
Well, 2011 was the final scores. Canada won 5 of 7 bouts to defeat Ukraine. That set up a final showdown with the U.S. for the team title. The U.S. started out with a big win at 105 when Karlene Slaversky from nearby Fredonia, New York, teched Natasha Kramble 11-0.
It was a great event. I was a little bit nervous when I first went out there. They put on a pretty big show compared to what we're used to, where we had to pick out music and everything to walk out to. I was a little surprised by that.
Well, Canada won 2 straight bouts before past junior world silver medalist Veronica Carlson of Team USA notched a 9-0 win over Stacey Anaka at 147 pounds.
Before this duel with Canada, Terry was talking about really feeling the passion when we got out there. He was like, you guys know how to wrestle, the wrestling takes care of itself, but I need to see the passion.
Well, the Canadians earned a hard-fought 18-10 overall victory over the talented women of the U.S. That's when they took 3 straight wins to take the duel. It was the battle of Jessicas, though, at 112 pounds that caught my attention. Canada's top athlete, world champion Jessica McDonald, defeated Jessica Medina in the final bout of the day.
For me, this is a really special event, not only because of the cause, hoping to keep wrestling the Olympics, but just to have all this support here and people coming out and fighting with us with this fight to keep wrestling the Olympics, it really means something.
We talked with USA National Women's Coach Terry Steiner.
The importance that it couldn't have been timed at a better time. With the IOC decision coming down a couple days ago, we need to keep building on that and excitement and the realization that we still got a lot of work to do.
Well, wrestling legend Dan Gable served as the team leader for Team USA and was a huge hit with the fans. An Olympic and world champion, Gable was there to support women's Olympic wrestling.
What's really impressive about this place is that these kids that are here in this area in Canada, that like they know a lot about me, and that's amazing, and so that even fires me up more to be more honed in on this Olympic effort that we need so badly.
Stay tuned, we'll be right back.
ASICS has been there. They've been the lifeblood of the sport. It's been a long time, and they've been at the top of the game every year, forever. And I'll tell you what, now that I think about it, maybe that's where I've gotten my inspiration, because you know, I always want to be in the top of my game in wrestling, and I think that's where ASICS is and wants to be as well.
The 2013 World Team Trials for both juniors and seniors will be held June 20th through the 23rd in Stillwater, Oklahoma. This is your chance to see national champs, world medalists, Olympians, all competing to see who will represent the U.S. at the World Championships in Budapest, Hungary, and the FILA Junior World Championships in Sofia, Bulgaria. Visit www.theworldteamtrials.com for all your ticketing and travel information. ASICS is the proud sponsor of USA Wrestling's national teams.
Well, another big event this weekend was the National Wrestling Hall of Fame's annual Honors Weekend. In its 37th year, Wrestling's Shrine inducted a brand new class of heroes who represented the best our sport has to offer. The weekend began Friday night with the presentation of the plaque ceremony. It's pretty satisfying for the honorees as they get to see their Hall of Fame displays for the very first time. This year, there was a change of schedule. Shortly after the honorees and their guests began to socialize, a tornado warning sounded and over 100 people were evacuated to the basement of Bennett Hall dorm. The social continued there for about 30 minutes until the weather threat had passed. Then and only then could they return to the hall. While the evening began with a special presentation, Jim Keane, chairman of the National Wrestling Hall of Fame's Board of Governors, presented a check for $10,000 to the Committee for the Preservation of Olympic Wrestling, or COPOW. Accepting the check were members of COPOW, John Bardis, Noel Thompson, and Rich Bender. The unveiling of the plaques followed as MC Sandy Stevens did what she does, introduced each of the honored guests. They posed together with their families for photos and video. There was an important Olympic theme at this year's inductions. Most of the honorees had a strong connection to the Olympic wrestling level. We had an opportunity to have special interviews with each of them over the weekend. The honors banquet began with a very special presentation to Board of Governors President Jim Keane. He'll be stepping down after more than a decade of service to the Hall. Now, 3 of the 4 distinguished members were members of at least 2 Olympic teams. Dan Chandler was inducted after a career which included membership on 3 U.S. Greco-Roman Olympic teams as an athlete, as well as serving as a coach for numerous U.S. Olympic and World Greco-Roman teams.
Last night when they unveiled the plaque, it was very exciting. Really a fun night last night, and we're having a great time golfing today and renewing some old friendships.
Well, freestyle star Melvin Douglas made 2 Olympic freestyle teams and won 4 World Championship gold medals for the U.S., including a world title in 1993.
You know, when I first heard about wrestling, I thought it was stuff like WWE.
Yeah.
You know? And, you know, I didn't want to be kneed in the head or hit with a chair, so I didn't want to do it. But, you know, when I got to junior high, East Topeka, and I saw what it was, you know, I picked it up.
Well, Matt Ghaffari also made 2 Olympic Greco-Roman squads and won an Olympic silver medal at the '96 Atlanta Games. Ghaffari leads the Greco athletes with 4 world and Olympic medals, the most of any American.
I remember as a young wrestler in high school and college coming through this place, never could imagine, wrestling to end up in this place. I was a late bloomer. I didn't wrestle to my junior year in high school, so I always was catching up. But it was great. It's the best feeling in the world.
With a fourth distinguished member honoree, Ron Gray. Ron was a two-time NCAA champion for Iowa State and Division I college wrestling coach for both Kent State and Franklin and Marshall.
Everyone that ever wrestled and won anything, either at the national tournament or the Olympics, this is their dream. And of course, I don't have to say, when I was called and notified, why I jumped up on cloud nine.
Each year, the Hall recognizes outstanding Americans from the sport who've succeeded in all walks of life. This year was no different. Both of the honorees have an Olympic connection as well. John Barnes was the team leader of the 2008 U.S. Olympic Greco-Roman team, a third-place finisher at the Olympic trials in Greco-Roman, and a leader on the Committee for the Preservation of Olympic Wrestling. Barnes is one of the nation's top businessmen in the medical services industry.
I didn't expect it, and I never would have expected it. And then, to tell you the truth, elation. It was pretty emotional from the standpoint of who's in this hall and what they have meant to me in terms of their representation of our sport, but their example throughout their lives and how that's influenced my own life.
Joshua Harris, well, he wrestled for the University of Pennsylvania and went on to great success in the financial services industry. An owner of the Philadelphia 76ers NBA team, he's also a member of the U.S. Olympic Committee Board of Trustees.
I understand what a commitment it takes to reach the levels that those great Americans have reached in terms of being champions, and I know how hard it is and how much training and how much commitment it takes, and so I was really excited to be included in that group.
Well, the Medal of Courage winner was Matt Hamill. Deaf since birth, Matt went on to win 3 Division III NCAA titles for RIT. Hamill competed in freestyle and Greco on senior levels and was a deaf Olympic gold medalist as well. He's also a champion MMA fighter. Order of Merit winner, well, that's John Dustin. He was an international referee, an AAU employee who managed Olympic wrestling programs, and he also served as event directors of Goodwill Games, World Championship, and Olympic wrestling events.
In my first year of wrestling, I had a losing season, something like five losses, 4 wins. So I wasn't great, but I started to have success. And my yearly records got better, and I started to develop a positive self-image about myself.
Well, the Dave Schultz High School Excellence Award winner is Zane Rutherford of Pennsylvania. He's considered a future Olympic hopeful after winning a FIDA Cadet World Gold Medal in men's freestyle. He won 2 state titles, the Junior National Freestyle title, a Folk Style National title, and was the OW at the Dapper Dan Classic.
I was really excited when I got the phone call, and it was something I knew that was out there. I know Masa got it last year, and I watched videos of Dave Schultz, very good competitor, very good. He's a legend of our sport.
Well, the Lifetime Achievement for Officials Award went to Pat Fitzgerald, one of the nation's top college and high school referees. Recently, he was the ref for the NCAA Finals match between Kyle Dake and David Taylor.
Sure, my family is a wrestling family. I have 2 older brothers that wrestled starting in junior high and of course into high school, and my oldest brother wrestled here at Oklahoma State and my other brother wrestled at Oklahoma.
Well, congratulations to all of this year's inductees and to those that were honored at the Hall of Fame. Well, other top U.S. women athletes who did not compete at the Battle of the Falls saw action this weekend at the Austrian Ladies Open. 6 Americans claimed gold. There were 3 U.S. champs in the senior division, winning 4 bouts at 105. The title belonged to 2-time junior world champion Victoria Anthony. She defeated Lenka Metkajova of the Czech Republic in the finals. Beating Canada's Vanessa Brown in the finals was past world team member Whitney Conder. She added a gold at 112 with 4 wins of her own. Well, the 3rd senior champion was college star Sarah Hildebrandt. She beat Ariel Bassett of France for the 121-pound gold medal. Well, the USA added 2 other senior medals as well, a silver from Julia Salata at 147 pounds and a bronze from Jennifer Page at 138. Now in the FIDA Cadet division, twin sisters Marina and Regina Doi. They were champs at 83 and 88 pounds respectively. Also taking a gold was Francesca Giorgio at 132 pounds. Congrats to all of the U.S. women for an excellent performance over the last week. Stay tuned, there's more USA Wrestling around the corner. We'll be right back.
wrestlers. Are you ready for the next step? USA Wrestling challenges you to test your skills at the USA Wrestling Cliff Keen Athletic Folkstyle Nationals. Become a national champion. Head to the Unidome in Cedar Falls, Iowa on April 5th and 6th to compete against the best wrestlers in the country. Last year's event featured 1,200 cadet and junior wrestlers from 32 states on 26 mats. For more information about this event and other tournaments, visit usawrestlingevents.com.
Each season, Liberty Mutual's Responsible Sports Community Grant Program awards $65,000 to youth sports organizations and school sports programs that demonstrate their commitment to responsibility in youth sports. Your organization could be one of our 20 winners this season. It's easy. Simply visit responsiblesports.com and click on the Community Grant Program. Administrators register their organization with the program, then reach out to rally parents, coaches, and team supporters to log on and review either the Responsible Sports Parenting or Responsible Coaching Guide. Then complete the quiz and showcase your mastery of the concepts. Every successfully passed quiz is worth a point that you can credit to your favorite youth sports organization or school sports program. Connect with friends, family, and neighbors to rally more support. The teams and schools with the most points at the end of the grant period win. It's that simple. Watch the leaderboard throughout the grant season, then rally more of your supporters to increase your totals. Liberty Mutual is committed to celebrating and championing youth sports and to financially supporting organizations that demonstrate their commitment to responsible sports. Join the movement and start earning points toward your community grant.
Well, the focus of our Olympic caliber wrestlers surely is on the upcoming U.S. World Team Trials in Stillwater, Oklahoma, June 21st and 22nd. The qualifying events are in the books. The remaining spots in the field, well, they're going to be decided through the wild card process. Well, 3 wild card positions have already been approved in the freestyle division. Cornell's Kyle Dake became the first to win 4 NCAA titles in 4 different weight classes in 2013, and he earned a wild card at 163. This year's Hodge Trophy winner, Dake, started his international career with a huge win over Iran at the Rumble on the Rails event in New York City. The remaining 2 wild cards went to Jack Jensen at 211 pounds and Jeremy Johnson at 264 pounds. Jensen competed at Oklahoma State and has placed as high as 3rd at the U.S. Open in the past. And Johnson, well, he competed at Ohio University and is a past junior world team member. He finished 8th at the U.S. Open this year. Be sure to mark your calendars for June 21 and 22 at OSU's Gallagher-Iba Arena. We'll be there, and we hope you will be too. The event will also be streamed online thanks to a joint effort between USA Wrestling and Flow Wrestling. Well, the University Nationals in Akron, Ohio marked the return of former college star and now freelancer Andrew Howe. His last bout prior to this weekend was at the 2012 U.S. Olympic Team Trials last April. That's where he faced at 163 pounds Jordan Burroughs in the finals. At the end of an exciting bout, Burroughs won and Howe was left injured. He lost the bout but earned a tear in his ACL and his knee. Due to that injury, Howe would not compete again to make that Olympic game. He did have to injury default. Since then, Howe's life has changed. He was an NCAA champ and 3-time All-American for Wisconsin prior to taking an Olympic redshirt year in 2012. Then he went on and trained at Michigan. Last summer, Howe transferred to the University of Oklahoma. He set out the 2013 campaign. During his break, he had knee and shoulder surgery. In Akron, Howe wrestled at 174 pounds, a weight class which is not contested at the University World Games. We did talk to him on the first day back for him on the mats.
The injury, it was just, I needed to get it fixed, and so got it fixed, and just focused on rehabbing hard, and just trying to get back on the mat.
On the second day of freestyle action, Howe marched to the finals, defeating Minnesota All-American Logan Storley. He won both bouts by tech fall 10-0 and 13-0. Now rejuvenated but not forgotten, Howe is expected to enter the U.S. World Team Trials in Stillwater in late June, but he'll be back down at 163 pounds. Other stars like Jordan Burroughs, Kyle Dake, and David Taylor currently dot the landscape. Andrew joined us after winning his University Nationals title.
It's kind of like a comeback party, I guess, a little bit. So feels good to be competing again, and happy.
Well, June will be a busy month for youth events for USA Wrestling. 3 major national dual meet competitions will take place at the age group level. It all kicks off with the Schoolboy National Duel set for Indianapolis, Indiana, June 6th through the 9th. The event will feature state association teams. Some of the best 13 and 14-year-old athletes in the country will compete in the 2 Olympic styles. Indiana has hosted this growing event since its inception. The defending champion in both styles, Team Illinois, they defeated Washington in the Greco-Roman finals, and Team Ohio in the freestyle finals just last year. Now, fans, you're encouraged to check out the live webcast being structured by the local organizing committee. There'll be 12 matches streamed each day with 8 full sessions of action. The Greco-Roman finals are set for 2:30 p.m. Friday, June 7th. Freestyle finals will take place at 2:30 on Sunday, June 9th. Check out the live webcast on themat.tv. Next up, the Cadet National Duels will be in Daytona Beach, Florida, June 12th through the 15th. The event will feature the nation's top 15 and 16-year-old athletes competing for their state teams in both Olympic styles. Last year, Illinois won the Greco-Roman championship, defeating Minnesota in the finals, while the freestyle title went to Pennsylvania when they edged Illinois in the championship bout. Rounding out the dual meet championships will be the Junior National Duels, which return to Oklahoma City, Oklahoma, June 26th through the 29th. Your USA Wrestling news continues after this short time out.
There comes a point in your life that determines who you are, whether you will lead or follow, whether you will fight or give in, whether you will win or lose, and what you will count as your victory.
Well, you may have noticed that wrestling has been all over the news following last week's vote from the International Olympic Committee Executive Board. Well, the IOC announced that wrestling had made the short list of candidate sports for the one remaining provisional sport at the 2020 and 24 Olympic Games. The other 2 sports vying for the last remaining position are the combined baseball-softball bid as well as squash. The final decision will be made in Buenos Aires, Argentina in early September, and the international wrestling community is gearing up for the challenging months ahead. IOC presidential candidate Dennis Oswald of Switzerland recently came out in support of the sport. He criticized the IOC Executive Board for taking wrestling out of the core program and said that he was convinced that wrestling will be back in the Olympic Games. Actor and Kapow leader Billy Baldwin recently wrote an editorial supporting Olympic wrestling that was seen on the Huffington Post. Baldwin encouraged the wrestling community to continue working hard through the final vote in Argentina. Baldwin wrote, "Let's take advantage of this international outpouring of support for wrestling and use it to elevate our sport to heights we never dreamed possible." Well, we agree. USA Today's Kelly Whiteside had an extensive interview with actor Mark Ruffalo about the sport. He'll play wrestling icon Dave Schultz in an upcoming major motion picture called Foxcatcher. Ruffalo, who was a wrestler in his youth, said, "Many of the qualities I learned in the sport became deeply needed for the job I have now. I think it helped me a lot during the years I struggled, that determination and perseverance." Well, USA Wrestling's executive director, Rich Bender, was in St. Petersburg, Russia for the IOC Executive Board meeting and talked to us about last week's vote.
Our mission when we went to St. Petersburg was to get that result, and it was certainly rewarding and refreshing to hear that the International Olympic Committee has agreed with us and thought that wrestling deserves a spot moving forward, and it was a good day for wrestling.
Well, the effort to keep Olympic wrestling has been financed through support from all across the country. Recently, Cliff Fretwell and his wife Stephanie, through their company Compound Clothing, offered their financial support to Kapow. Following the February IOC recommendation that wrestling be removed as a core Olympic sport, Fretwell set up a Facebook page supporting Olympic wrestling, which has now grown to over 92,000 followers. Compound Clothing created a Keep Wrestling at the Games t-shirt that has been sold around the world, with proceeds going directly to Kapow to support the Olympic movement. At the recent Rumble on the Rails in Grand Central Terminal in New York City, Fretwell presented a giant check to Kapow for $10,500. That was accepted by USA's Executive Director, Rich Bender. Now, the effort's not over, as Fretwell hopes to raise another $10,000 in the upcoming months, but during World Wrestling Month, he designed another shirt using the Russian and Iranian language to support Olympic wrestling. Actor Billy Baldwin was one of the many who sported the shirt in New York. You've heard about it on TV. Now it's time for the USA Wrestling Photo of the Week. The pictures are sent in by families and fans from around the country and are part of the photo contest page in our Wrestler magazine, the USA Wrestler magazine, and our USA Wrestling Facebook page. This week, the picture was taken by Aaron Lauren of fourth grader Trevor Lauren of the Bel Air Junior Wrestling Squad. Look at him securing the sweet headlock in a 60-pound matchup at the end of the year league championships. Have your photographs considered for our contest simply by emailing them to Gary Abbott at gabbott@usawrestling.org. Well, that'll do it for this very busy show. We appreciate you watching. For all of us at USA Wrestling, I'm Scott Casper. Have a good one, everybody.